I just want to apologise first of all for not doing anything last week. Thursday and Friday last week, I thought I was going to say something, but it was a little bit too much, a bit too early last week, and so I was glad that Ken Chu stepped in regarding that. From my own point of view, I've been in football management now 40 years, I think now, and it's by far the most difficult week in my career, by an absolute mile. It's the traumatic, you know, I can't, even now I can't get my head around the situation, and, you know, when I look at Ramino and the family, etc., etc., I think it's such a difficult time. I think you've got to, you know, I keep looking at my own children and thinking what I would be doing now as well. So it's a very traumatic for area, but my sympathies are with them. I think the family has been fantastic, and a massive plus to our fans and Nantes fans. I think they've been amazing as well.
Emiliano, welcome to the UK. Are you going to sign for Cardiff? Can you tell us anything, Emiliano?
He came to the training ground halfway through his medical on Friday, sorry, as we were preparing. I went across to see him for 2 or 3 minutes, and I just said to him, you know, looking at his gear that he was wearing, I said he'd fit in very well with my team. He had holes everywhere in his trousers and looked like a tramp, and I said he'd fit in very well with our team because we've got quite a few like that. And that's the memory I'll have, you know, because we had a laugh, and, you know, he said, I'll score you the goals, and I said, I know you will. And then it was, you know, off. You know, I do keep thinking back when I did say to him, you know, why don't you come up to Newcastle and watch the lads play tomorrow and have a look, and, you know, not asking yourself, should I have made him come, because it's all right after the event, isn't it? But, you know, he wanted to go back and see his teammates and family and get his belongings for the following week. So, you know, that's what happened. But we, you know, just thanked him and off we went, you know. I think nearly 24 hours a day the last week, yeah. I think I would be true to say. And even as I sit here now, I think that would be... Because there's more important things, isn't there, really? It takes something like that probably to make you realise. I am tired. I know my age is not helping me, but it's not... I don't think it's down to my age, you know. It's... it almost feels cruel to me that everything that happened, you know, the Leicester thing was such a tragedy, and then this on top of that, you know, you think once in a lifetime's enough, but to have two in a few short weeks, it does take it out of you, I think. Makes you look at yourself and what you're doing, why you're in the game. There's so many things crop up in your mind, really. It doesn't feel that much better as well. As we talked this morning, I've had another chat with the lads this morning, and obviously 1 or 2 of the lads, I think it was only right that, you know, they speak to people that might help them in this situation. But I don't think it does any harm to talk to somebody else, because you can't, you know, you can't just put things under the table. You've got to, you know, different lads have different outlook. You know, not very often have I ever said, John, I'm lost for words, have I? Neil Warnock. But that's how I am at the minute. I've been on a couple of planes like that, but I think the ones, from what I can remember, I think they might have had 2 engines. Are you with me? But I've been over the top there, you know, to Nantes a couple of times, etc., etc. And I do think I've had a pilot as well, who I thought were a fabulous pilot when I, you know. So, you know, I just can't, you know, I can't comprehend anything else.
in a very, very difficult way, I think, is probably the short answer I can get to it. And Neil Warnock admitted today that really they've gone through the tactics, but maybe mentally he's not sure the player's there. He's even sure he himself is there. He's very, very honest today. In terms of what they will do, though, tomorrow, when they travel to the ground, they will wear daffodils on their clothing to show their respect to Emiliano Sala. Tomorrow night, though, when they actually put their playing shirts on and during the match, they're not going to have daffodils on their shirts or black armbands either. That has come at the request of Emiliano Sala's family. They do not wear armbands tomorrow night, but they will be a tribute before kick-off, though, and the Cardiff captain will put a bunch of daffodils on the pitch at the Emirates, and the Arsenal captain will lay a bunch of yellow tulips, the flowers, the emblem of FC Nantes, on the pitch as well. And during the moments of reflection at the ground prior to kick-off as well, Salah's photograph will be up on the giant screens with "Pray for Salah." So that is the way that Cardiff are preparing on that point of view. In terms of the game itself, almost impossible for them to really try and get this right tomorrow. I think Neil Warnock just wants to, he's using it as a good way that the players, they are no longer distracted on this. They've got something to put their focus towards. Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, encouraged to do so by Neil Warnock. He made the point that he really wanted Sol Bamba to speak with Emiliano Sala, to form, a bit of a bond and a bit of rapport, but also persuade him to come to Cardiff as well. He was key, very much key for Warnock as a conduit to make Sala make that decision to leave Nantes and come here to South Wales to play for Cardiff. So yeah, a difficult time for Sol Bamba over the last week as well. Let's now hear from him, because he's been speaking a little bit earlier today as well.
It was a tough weekend for everyone. Everyone's been hurt about it and affected, but I think everyone got together and obviously everyone has been talking to each other to make sure everyone's okay. A few of the boys have been calling each other, and obviously training's been called off. But the next day we got together and everyone was in shock. I never see the dressing room that quiet. Everyone was quiet. Everyone was very, very sad, and it was a shock, really. Obviously, like the gaffer said, then we try to help each other if anyone need to go and talk to anyone. And you're right to feel like that. It's a tragedy. So if you go hard, you're going to be affected by it. So even if, like you said, he wasn't like fully part of us, and at the minute he signed for us and he came to see the boys just to say hello, he was part of us. So everyone feel like he was part of the team. He's part of the team, because to be fair, we still have to have hope, because we haven't found his body yet, even if we know the chance is very, very slim. But we like to think maybe it can be an happy ending, hopefully.
So there we are, Sol Bamba. We also heard from Neil Warnock a little bit earlier now. For the first time we've been hearing from the playing side of Cardiff City after last week hearing from the chief executive on what has been the most unusual, extraordinary and saddening week for Cardiff City.
The last radar contact is, we have a very good position for that. Of course, there is some error associated with that. Worst case, we're looking at approximately a search area of 25 square nautical miles. It is north of Herd Deep, the area that everybody is concerned about. The water depth in the primary area is about 65 meters. It's hard rock, it's regularly fished, and it's regularly fished by scallop dredgers that are actually making the seabed very, very smooth.
So reachable?
It is reachable. It is 65 meters depth. Even the Herd Deep, in the worst case where we're looking, is maybe 110, 120 meters depth. Now, that is deep water in terms of diving, but in terms of the work that I do in searching, this will be one of the shallowest projects I've ever done in my career. No search is guaranteed. It's the first thing I tell people. We cannot guarantee that we will find the plane. we think we have a very good chance, but there's no guarantee. But the family is determined to do everything they possibly can with the support that they have of the football community and many family and friends.
I cannot say exactly the players, but the players who, with the possibility, help us and can play in the winger, right or left.
We understand he put in a transfer request. Does that encourage you? Do you get the sense that he wants to come here?
I think all the players can come here and help us is good.
We are satisfied, like, well, the Spurs, third in the league, it's okay. No, we want to be first, of course.
I shot you down, bang, bang. You hit the ground, bang, bang. That awful sound, bang, bang. I used to shoot you down.
Wasps are your Vitality Netball Super League champions.
Britain's got a new golfing star, Georgia Hall, major champion.
Music played and people sang. Just for me, the church bells rang.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Katie Taylor!
Bang, bang. He shot me down, bang, bang. I hit the ground, bang, bang. That awful sound, bang, bang. My baby shot me down. Shot me down, 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 down.
Vitality Netball Super League champions.
Britain's got a new golfing star, Georgia Hall, major champion.
Music played and people sang just for me. The church bells rang.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Katie Taylor.
Bang bang, he shot me down. Bang bang, I hit the ground. Bang bang, that awful sound. Bang bang, my baby shot me down. Shot me down, shot me down, 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 down.
Now, to the title race. Pep Guardiola has told his players that every game is a cup final and believes that one more defeat could mean the end of their challenge. City are 4 points behind Liverpool. But before kick-off of their title rivals in each of their next games, the three of them, they're away at Newcastle tomorrow night. A win would move them 1 point off the lead. So does that mean there's a little bit of extra pressure on Liverpool?
In both situations, when we play later, when we play early, the only chance we have is win the games. If not, we'll be almost over. So every game for us is a final. And in the cup competitions we are playing also is a final, because against Burnley was a final. So what should we do when playing after? We have to win. What should we do playing before? We have to win. So,
but sometimes when there's more pressure, it might be harder.
I think they all the teams that want to win or fight for win the titles, they have to feel the pressure. They feel the pressure. Everybody, we have the pressure. We feel the pressure. So it's what it is. We have to handle it. So it's not. It's I think 14 games left. So many points to play. Many games to play in difficult circumstances, with a lot of games in our legs, in our minds. So change competitions day by day. So. It's not, believe me, my advice is not to think too much about that. It's not so you distract, you don't think what we have to do.
So, yeah, City playing first before Liverpool on Wednesday. So how have City got on when they've played before Liverpool this season? Let's have a look, shall we? Well, pretty well is the answer. They've won 6 of their 7 games and drawn the other one, so they're unbeaten. But when Liverpool have played first, City have won 9 of their 11 games, but lost twice. Those defeats coming away at Chelsea and at home to Crystal Palace. Remember that Andros Townsend goal in that one. Well, meanwhile, Rabbi Matondo looks like the latest highly rated teenager to leave Manchester City and Pep Guardiola. We understand that Schalke are closing in on a fee of 11 million.
I heard about that they are interested in another young player. So, but I don't know who's going to finish. I know how good he is. He's a winger, so fast, incredible, fast player, quick, and a young talent. So. Again, that is a good signal how good this club is working.
Guardiola says he is satisfied with the club's transfer business, despite missing out on Frenkie de Jong, who went to Barcelona instead. Barca head coach Ernesto Valverde criticised City's pursuit of de Jong, but Guardiola insists there's no problems between the pair.
No answer. No answer that. The rest is my friend, so no problem at all. So the youngest play Ajax, will be Barcelona. Finish.
But as a manager, when you're trying to sign a player, is it not right that you should be able to speak to the player and try and convince him to come to your club?
I don't want to talk about that. It's over. So it's not our players, it's not our business. So now it's focusing Newcastle game.
You have spoken in the last couple of weeks about the challenges of competing with the likes of Barcelona when you are trying to buy players. So What needs to change for Manchester City to be able to do that?
So first of all, I'm not involved in the negotiations about the players. I give my opinion, and we do our best. And I'm so satisfied. The club is incredible, working perfect. And sometimes the players come, sometimes go another place. That's normal. It's not the first time it happened. It's not the last time it's going to happen. So it's no problem at all. So all the big clubs sometimes decide. The common players, and the reality is what it is. We accept that sometimes it's not possible, and nothing happens. So we have enough players to play tomorrow with 11 players in the pitch. That is the point.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has revealed he's already preparing Manchester United for next season, even though he's only currently in charge until the summer.
Yeah, Solskjaer has won his first 8 games as caretaker manager, but insists he's thinking about the long-term development of the first team, with academy players Mason Greenwood, Jimmy Garner and Ethan Hamilton set to feature before the end of the season.
We have quite a few talents in that youth team that you'd like to see, and you probably will see at some point before next season, because that's what it's about now for me as well, to put the club and to put the team in a good position when at the end of the season now, how do we look like, what do we look like next season? And Mason, Jimmy Garner, Ethan, there's quite a few in that reserve team that do well. It's just about the right time.
Did you just say then that you play for next season? You said what we're going to look like?
No, like what Man United are going to look like next season. With or without me, that it doesn't really matter, because I'm here now to, as part of that, to prepare the team for next season. But of course, that means doing well now.
Toby Alderweireld believes that Tottenham's progress under Mauricio Pochettino should not be underestimated.
Yeah, Alderweireld's comments come in a week that has seen Tottenham go out of the FA Cup and, of course, the Carabao Cup as well. They lost to Chelsea in the semi-finals, didn't they? But the defender thinks that Spurs should still aim higher than just a top 4 Premier League finish.
We want to win trophies, of course. We don't want to go out in the cups, but I think if you see the last couple of years how stable we are to get in the top 4, you know, I think it's a big step we took as a team. I think we're improving. It's not that we had a good season then a very bad season. We're stable. We're up there. So of course we want to improve. We want to get titles, of course, but don't underestimate the things we achieved until now as well. Doesn't mean we're happy, that we are satisfied, like, well, with Spurs, third in the league, it's okay. No, we want to be first, of course, but I think we have to be realistic as well, if you see from where we come from.
OK, Everton don't want to sell a midfielder, Idrissa Gueye. Well, there's been a bid from PSG worth £21 million. Gueye wants to go, so it's now up to PSG to decide if they want to increase their offer.
We reject the offer. He's a really important player for us, and normal for us to sign new players. That means it's something really difficult. It's something the club has to spend normal good amounts to do that, and for us to possible to our players, we don't put no one in the market. And for some clubs to come here to try to buy our players, they have to look really for the value of the player, and when you look for this price, is something, for this money, is something I don't see really, I cannot see really like the value of the Ghana.
OK, Leicester City want to do business this week. They're in talks with Monaco over the signing of Belgium international Yuri Tillemans. The deal under discussion is for £20 million. Tillemans has 3.5 years left on his contract, and he's open to a move to England. He's 21 and he's got 19 caps for his country.
No, for the moment, all the things for me is just speculation. For the moment, I am happy about the squad, and it's difficult. It's difficult, I think, to have a good opportunity in the winter transfer window.
OK, one deal that could happen in the next 24 hours. West Ham's club record signing of Celta Vigo striker Maxi Gomez. West Ham will meet the £43 million release clause. Still some work to do, though. Celta Vigo is struggling at the wrong end of La Liga, and they want to keep Gomez until the end of the season. Discussions ongoing over a loan back to Celta until June. Now, for that to happen, West Ham want a reduction in what they pay now.
Yes, I have some doubts if not the player number 35 or number 36 that is coming here. The only doubt that I can tell you.
Okay.
You at least 35, 36 players that the media say are coming here. The answer is the same.
OK, another potential rival at West Ham is the Sheffield United Fleck. Talks have been held about a £4 million deal. Fleck was Sheffield United's Player of the Year last season. He has 3.5 years left on his contract. Let's just stay at West Ham because Pellegrino was also asked about Marko Arnautovic. The Austrian international, of course, has signed a contract extension. That was after his agent, who's also his brother, had urged the club to accept an offer from Chelsea. And Pellegrini wouldn't rule out another will he go or will he stay saga in the summer.
Marco already demonstrated what he can do. He did it in the second part of the last season. He made an important difference. I hope that now from till the end of the season he will do it again.
And beyond the end of the season, does he have a longer term future here?
Sorry?
After the end of the season, he will stay here, do you think, or not?
We can talk at the end of the season about that. Now we are talking, I think mind must be concentrated in the games against Wolverhampton.
OK, let's go to Manchester United. It could be quite a quiet conclusion to the window, but defender Matteo Darmian has been the subject of interest from Juventus and Inter Milan, and he's one of 6 players who are out of contract at the end of the season.
At the moment, I can see everyone staying at the club because no deal's been done with anyone, I think. But then again, there's still a few more days, and. But I'm not too involved in the negotiations. So whatever happens. It'll be good to get the window closed so we can just focus on the matters and the squad and just improving the ones who stay here.
OK, for Southampton, the window has been all about trimming their squad. 4 players have already gone, and they're listening to offers for striker Charlie Austin. Reports this morning Stoke City are interested.
Sometimes the point that you as a club can't give any player what he expects us to give him. So in this situation, we are trying to find a win-win situation for both sides. Also, he wants to play from the beginning in a starting 11, and if there's not the option here in Southampton, maybe he will looking for another club where he has these options, and then we have to talk about these things.
Still to come on Sky Sports Newsroom with Brendan Rodgers, and we'll hear from Claudio Ranieri on the future of Abubakar Kamara.
Bang, bang, I shot you down, bang, bang. You hit the ground, bang, bang. That awful sound, bang, bang. I used to shoot you down.
Wasps are your Vitality Netball Super League champions.
Britain's got a new golfing star, Georgia Hall, major champion.
Music played and people sang, just for me the church bells rang.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Katie Taylor!
Bang, bang, he shot me down, bang, bang. I hit the ground, bang, bang. That awful sound, bang, bang. My baby shot me down. down, bang, bang. That awful sound, bang, bang. I used to shoot you down.
Wasps are your Vitality Netball Super League champions.
Britain's got a new golfing star, Georgia Hall, major champion.
Music played and people sang. Just for me, the church bells rang.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Katie Taylor!
Bang, bang, he shot me down, bang, bang. I hit the ground, bang, bang. That awful sound, bang, bang. My baby shot me down. Shot me down, 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 down.
Just 6 days now until one of the biggest sporting events on the planet. Tom Brady's New England Patriots will play the LA Rams in the Super Bowls. Let's continue our countdown. Cross live to our man Richard Graves, who's in Atlanta for us. Hi, Richard.
Yeah, very good afternoon from Atlanta, Pete. I'm on the set of Inside the Huddle, where you'll be seeing Neil Reynolds and Jeff Reinbold speaking to all sorts of players, celebrities, stars throughout the course of the week. And Radio Row itself, where we're situated, is getting ready for Super Bowl week. The hundreds of media outlets, the thousands of fans, and in amongst them all are two experts, Jeff, Neil, Tom Brady, Jared Goff over your shoulder, the greatest of all time against a man playing his first Super Bowl. Are we excited?
Greatest of all time, talking Tom Brady, right? Not
talking about you.
Oh, okay. I thought it was. I just wanted to clarify.
One day, guys. One day.
Yeah, Tom Brady. I mean, we're never going to see his like again. What we're seeing is historic. He's going to play in his 9th Super Bowl, more than any other team in the NFL. So this to me, every Super Bowl week has a theme. This feels like it is a Tom Brady Super Bowl, and rightly so.
And I think as a great other storyline to this whole deal is the young kid, the California kid. Because if you could draw a guy that should be the quarterback of the Los Angeles Rams, it is Jared Goff. He is California cool in every way. Now the question's going to be, is the game going to be too big for him? I mean, you cannot even describe what this is like until you're here. So I think that's going to be fascinating.
Well, look, we said Jared Goff in his first Super Bowl as well. Tom Brady in his 9th. If he wins this, that'll be 6 Super Bowl rings. No player has ever achieved that accolade, much less with one team.
Yeah, and I think that's where, these Super Bowls always create legacies, and Brady's legacy is kind of set anyway. Nothing that happens on Sunday, win or lose, is going to change his greatness. Most consider to be the greatest player regardless of position. But if you want to talk legacy, if Jared Goff can take down Tom Brady in a year when he's already taken down Aaron Rodgers, he's already taken down Drew Brees, he's beaten the big quarterbacks in this game. If he takes down Brady on Super Bowl Sunday, there's his legacy already in his 3rd year.
Can it be done, Jeff, against Bill Belichick, the one coach who always finds a weakness in the opponents, and on the big stage, more times than not, he comes out on top?
Well, I think that's another one of the great storylines of this game, is the fact that you've got Bill Belichick, arguably the greatest coach, and I think you got to say the greatest coach of all time. And on the other sideline is a 33-year-old guy, just turned 33-year-old guy. And can youth be served? Because Rams are youth, Patriots are experience and wisdom. It's going to be fascinating.
What are we expecting from this week then, guys?
I think it's going to come down to this, whether the Patriots are able to solve the man-to-man coverage that they're going to get from the Rams. I know Wade will have a rush plan. You got Aaron Donald inside. They got to be able to protect Brady against inside pressure. Neil, we've said for 5 years that's the way you get to him. So I think that's going to be the key one to me to watch.
That's on game day. This week, we can expect hundreds and thousands of the same question being asked time and time again. Will be lots to talk about Brady, of course. There'll be talk about Todd Gurley, what's happened to him as a running back in the back end of the season. And there'll be a fair amount of nonsense as well. That's just Super Bowl week.
You got to stay, fans have got to watch this week, because this is a circus in here. By the time it's noon, this thing is jam-packed with 500 people, NFL legends of all shapes and sizes. Gil Brandt today, how about that? And I know you a Cowboys fan, the architect of those great Cowboy teams under Tom Landry, just walking around like, you know, sharing his afternoon with us. It's awesome.
Well, thanks, guys. It is awesome. It's the beauty, the magic of Super Bowl week. We get to meet the players tonight, and then we have 5 days of pure talk, trying to really study and explain every possible scenario, and yet we won't know anything, will we, until Sunday comes.
Not until the game finishes.
It is Super Bowl week. We'll be with you from Atlanta throughout the week on Sky Sports News.
Look forward to it, guys. Many thanks. Massive game, that, isn't it?
Yeah, looking forward to it. More now from Neil Warnock, who's admitted he's considered retirement following the disappearance of Emiliano Sala. The Cardiff manager says it's been the most difficult week of his career, which has left him continually questioning his position. A sombre mood surrounds the club, with Warnock and his squad deeply affected by events of the past week. They now have to turn their attentions to facing Arsenal tomorrow night, and Warnock says some players might not be able to play.
It has been noticeable this last week, 3 or 4 lads really poor in training. And, you know, we decided that tomorrow, for example, we feel we've got to go more regarding who we feel will get more out of it than actually probably the team that we would have picked. I do think from the players' point of view, they need some sort of distraction now, because it's so doom and gloom and down and sorrowful and other adjectives which I can't think, but the place is so sombre all the way around the club that it's almost like we need some sort of a game to get firing again, you know, to get something out of the system. And I know people say life goes on, but you know, we've had 10 days as well, or what have you. So it's not like, you know, we could have done one 3 days later. We definitely couldn't have played Saturday.
Well, Cardiff captain Sol Bamba will be at tomorrow night's game, of course, at the Emirates. It's going to be an important step for the squad, he says. Both teams will lay flowers on the pitch before kick-off. The message, pray for Salah, will be shown on screens around the stadium.
A few Arsenal players been in touch. Obviously, Lacazette's been French and playing in France. He played against Emiliano a few times, so he's been in touch. And obviously, the Arsenal fan, I'm sure, they're going to be good as well in terms of reception and all that. And it's going to be weird the first probably 15-20 minutes. Very emotional, I expect it. But obviously, after is a game of football to be played, and I'm sure they're going to try to win it, and we're going to do the same. But I think it's going to be very, very emotional for the first part of it. Everyone deal with it differently, and I do things. 1 or 2 just want to get back playing so they can get out of the mind, and as some of them is going to find it difficult to play football after such a tragedy. So everyone dealing with it differently. But I think it's important we got the game, because either way that's going to kind of pull it behind it, if I can say it like that. And I think everyone's looking forward to it, either to pay the respect before the game or to play the game and saying, like, obviously, even if it's such a tragedy, the life has to go on.
Well, Claudio Ranieri coached Emiliano Sala during his time at Nantes, and he said he'll do anything he can to help the club and Sala family in their ongoing search.
Emiliano was a fantastic boy. A player who put his head where the others don't put the foot, the leg. Was for me was very, very sad, and I imagine his family, everybody.
What kind of an impact do you think it will have on, you know, the Nantes side?
Yeah, the impact was tremendous. I watched some video there. But what we can do? Nothing. Nothing. Just a prayer for him and his family.
Right, now there has been a significant change at the top level at Bournemouth today. Our reporter Mark McAdam joins us on the phone right now. So Mark, what's happening?
Yeah, good evening, Pete. It's a really significant day for A.F.C. Bournemouth. They've already been one of the movers and shakers in the January transfer window, having spent over £30 million on 2 new players and one on loan from Liverpool. But the most significant piece of business that the club might just do over this window is the transfer of some shares. Now, it relates to the ownership of A.F.C. Bournemouth, but before today was split between the Russians, who own 75%, Maxim Demin, and the Americans, who own 25%. But the Russian Maxim Demin has now bought Peak Six out and once again owns 100% of the club. Just to flesh out the story a little bit more, he first came to the table back in 2011 when he took over 49% of A.F.C. Bournemouth. At the time, the club was in League One with no money and struggling financially, although the former chairman, Eddie Mitchell, had stabilised the club. It was Maxim Demin's vision and finance that took A.F.C. Bournemouth from League One to the Premier League. In 2015, he sold 25% of that to these American owners, Peak Six, but today he has taken back full control. It's going to be interesting how things progress now. Of course, in 2017 and 2018, A.F.C. Bournemouth announced plans for a brand new stadium and a brand new training complex, which Eddie Howe is so passionately involved with, but it's all been put on hold. There's been a bit of radio silence, and it's our understanding now that because of the transfer of the shares and one man now owning 100% of the football club, it's thought that this will be a significant development as the club looks to move forward and get things moving off the field with the training ground development and new stadium development. So a really interesting day down here at Bournemouth, but like we say, once again, Maxim Demin, who has done so much for the football club, now back in control of A.F.C. Bournemouth, and he owns 100% of the club.
Right, interesting. Mark, many thanks for putting us right in the picture there. Thank you.
More now from Claudio Ranieri, and he would be happy to welcome Aboubakar Kamara back into the squad once the club's investigation into the player's behaviour is over.
Yeah, Kamara looked to be on his way out at Fulham after first arguing with Alexander Mitrovic, remember, on the pitch over a penalty, and then again in a yoga session. And then last week, Kamara was arrested on suspicion of actual bodily harm and criminal damage at the club's training ground.
I don't know what happened here. Now there is a club investigation, and I'm waiting. But if he come back, for me, is no problem. For the team, there is no problem.
There have been a few incidents, though, haven't there? How disruptive has that been?
No. There's no influence. Everybody are working well. There's no problem.
Still to come, after 11 years as a professional boxer, George Groves hangs up his gloves. Reaction on the way.